Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Good Thursday afternoon. It's Juli coming to you live from Laval, as usually a little bit earlier today because I have another interview that I am granting in the afternoon. So my guest was kind enough to be available at this hour at my lunch break. So if you know me, thank you for being here, for watching. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're new on my page, my name is Julieta. I work in construction as an engineer, and as a side business, I am running a digital license. And what I do is actually we teach people how to advertise online and promote a very potentially successful business that you can all start. And what I do is I bring interviews and guests that people and business partners that are doing the same thing as me to bring value to what we're doing and show that a lot of people from different walks of life are able to have a full-time job and run a business on the side, or directly do this business full-time. So without further ado, I'm going to invite my guest. Hi, Paulo. How are you?
Hi, Yolita. I'm really good. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
I'm No, thank you. I'm so happy that you were able to grant me this a couple minutes of your time. Share with us, where are you?
I'm in Puerto Vallarta right now in Mexico. I'm
Yes.
here. I've
Oh my
been here for about a few days, 5 days. So I'm here till Saturday, and then I'm down to Mexico City for a few days,
Nice.
and then
Yes,
from there to Central America. So
I can see your background is different than here. In Canada, it's
yeah,
everything gray. You
yeah,
have like too much sun there.
yeah. No, it's too warm. Yeah.
Wow, nice, nice. That's amazing that you're able to enjoy this. So, Paulo, I introduced myself a little bit to the audience. I would like you to do the same for people to get to know you.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I'm Paulo Perlez. I grew up in Calgary, background's Filipino. I reside in Vancouver, BC, and as you know, I just in Mexico right now. And my career, I've been a nurse for over 19 years now. I've been a registered nurse. I worked in inpatient hospital in Calgary and Vancouver. I worked in outpatient clinics at Tom Baker Cancer Center and BC Cancer as an oncology clinical trials nurse. I've worked in London, England for a year. I worked at a GI surgery unit there, and then also I burnt out from nursing with the clinical trials job. So I quit and then I moved and worked. I started working for a pharmaceutical company, Bristol Myers. So I was working for them for a couple of years as a real time auditor for oncology clinical trials. And so I've done a lot of nursing stuff because I get bored with the areas that I'm doing. So so that's sort of just the gist of my career wise and what I've been doing.
Wow, it's funny you said 20 years of nursing. You look so young. Not
I
that
always
you're
get
not,
that.
but I couldn't have guessed that you've been 20 years in nursing. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's funny whenever I be looking at patient or looking after patients, they would think I'm still a student nurse, and I tell them how many years doing it, and they're shocked. Or sometimes they think I'm a doctor as well too. But
Oh,
no,
nice.
I mean it's a good compliment, but yeah, no, the nursing career has been good to me, but I'm ready to call it quits by next year just because of the burnout
Yeah.
that can happen with that job.
Yes, 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 absolutely. I just want to acknowledge Gamal. He's watching. Thank you for watching. Let us know where you're watching from, please, so we can say hi to where you're watching from. So,
Yeah.
Paulo, I guess I know you explained your background and stuff. You talked about being burned out and stuff. Was that the reason that brought you to look for something extra, like a different source of, to either supplement your income or complement your income, or were other reasons to it too?
Yeah, so that was one of the reasons was the burnout because I burnt out twice actually in that sort of profession. Burnt out with the oncology clinical trials position, and then burnt out working for the pharmaceutical companies because I was working. So the oncology clinical trials job, I was working with my second colleague, and we were working a 3 nurse workload for almost 2 years because we could not find a replacement for our colleague that went on sick leave. And it's a difficult role in a way with oncology clinical trials nurses because it's a niche type of nursing. We can't just bring a nurse from the hospital setting to this because there's a lot of training and so on. So we had trouble finding a good candidate. So I nearly burnt out, and I ended up developing a rare neuromuscular disorder, and they couldn't figure out what caused it, but it was likely because of all the buildup of stress that was happening. Because during that time, I was also moving into a new place. I just bought my first new place. So they always say is the other most stressful thing people can experience. So I
Yes,
had two stressful situations. Yeah. So I believe that triggered an underlying condition that if I wasn't in that sort of setting, it would have kind of stayed dormant. But because of the perfect conditions, it just caused it to flick on. And so I lost full ability of my head control movement, my voluntary head control movement. So my head was doing this all the time, and I could not control. It only affects 3% of the population, but it happened so quickly within the time. I woke up with a very stiff neck, and then within 3 months, I lost full control, and the turning was so severe. It pinched the nerve on between my C5 and 6 spine, so lost um, motor and sensory. I got motor and sensory neuropathy on my right arm, so I had lost function of that right arm. So I had two, and that's also a rare condition. So I had two rare conditions happening at once at the
wow, that is
age of, yeah, I was only 33 when I got diagnosed with it. And so I went fully healthy and active to being being dependent, and having my mom help dress me, feed me, help me do my activities of daily living because it was tough for me to do it. And it took me 6 months to kind of get back on track with treatment. But at that beginning part when I got diagnosed and I was lying in bed the whole time, instead of trying to focus on healing and trying to focus on recovery, I was so worried about who's going to pay the mortgage. Like, because I was with my ex-husband at the time, but I'm like, who's going to pay for the mortgage? Who's going to pay for the bills? Am I going to be able to drive again? Am I going to be able to go back to the gym? So there's a lot of it was money related, and I told myself I don't ever want to go back. I don't ever want to experience that again. So
yeah,
that's why I started looking for something else so that I can have a cushion of money that can be set aside. So my finances would be taken care of. That sort of, I know kind of, that's like, that was like sort of a very stressful time point in my life. And so after that all sort of happened and I recovered, took 2 years to recover, I went into that job with a pharmaceutical company, but they were working me to the bone. I was working 10 to 16-hour days. Even though I got to work from home, I would have to go to site, work there for 8 hours, come home, work for another few hours doing reports, sending out letters to and so that would make my days 10 to 16 hours. And I was salary based. So I did a lot of extra hours they said you can take the time off. You can work extra and take the time off. But when you're so busy, when can you take the time off? And so when I left Yolita, I had over 370 hours of extra time that I could not take back.
wow,
And so I told myself I had to leave because it was to the point that my personal life was getting affected too, that I wasn't going out, I wasn't socializing, I was just working, working, working. And I just couldn't do it anymore. So yeah, I burnt out twice and I said never again. So that's the second reason why I started looking something on the online space. The third is that because of all the different jobs I worked at, being a unionized job, your seniority level for vacation drops. And so someone at my level of experience should already be about 7 to 8 weeks of vacation time. And so for me, and for me, it's always about 4 weeks. Before I thought it was 3 weeks, but someone corrected me, so it's 4 weeks. But for me, that's not enough time to take off for like to have to de-stress from your stressful job.
Oh,
And
mhm.
especially when I go into these new roles, because of my level of experience, management has higher expectations of me because of my level of experience. And so I take on a lot more than others, but yet I can't take time off because of the union. And so I said, no, I needed to look for something else. So that's the third reason. And then the fourth reason is my mom retired, but she only is living off of her pension, and she separated from my dad recently, about five, not recent, but about 5, 6 years ago, and she relied on him financially, and so she is only able to pay, the rent, the food, and then the bills, but nothing else. She can't travel, she can't see her family, and for me, it's sad seeing my mom just being
Yeah,
stuck at home and not being able to do any of that stuff. And I want to be able to take her on trips. I want to be able to travel with her. I want to take her on cruises. I want to do a lot of things with her because she's already 70. There's only so much more time I have left with her. And I don't want to know her as somebody that just stayed home for the last 15, 20 years. I want people to see her as somebody that was traveling and with her son and enjoying life. And so that's what I want to be able to do. So that's the fourth reason. And then sorry, the fifth reason is because I want to be able to put money away for my nieces and nephews and my godson because they I want to start an education fund, but I don't want them to use that money for going to uni or college. I want them to use it for entrepreneurship, for no, like starting a business, or if they want to go and preceptor at maybe like a place like let's say they see a mentor or somebody that they want to follow and they want to go, let's say, to New York. They know somebody that is like my niece is she's on Instagram. She started this cooking channel and she's just over almost 4 years old. But maybe if she continues with that and wants to excel in that, I will give her funds to be able to maybe start a restaurant or do any of that stuff. But I won't let any of my nieces and nephews use that money for going to university or college because they, I find, okay, university and colleges are great because we need doctors, nurses, we need engineers, and so on.
yeah, definitely.
But we don't teach people entrepreneurship. We don't teach people how to start a business. We don't teach people financial literacy. And I want to be able to teach them that. So even if they want to go back to traditional schools and do something, they also have another business or entrepreneurship on the side so that they're not stuck in the system. Because a lot of people, and I see a lot of people stuck in the system where they don't think there's a way out. And
Yeah.
so yeah, sorry, it's a
No,
long-winded reason for all my, but
but what you just said is perfect because that what you just said, yes, we need professionals, and yourself, you're a professional, I'm a professional, and we're still doing, running a business, and we're not leaving our professions, or well, you are planning to, right? There are so many professionals in our community that are continuing their profession because they love their professions, and it's okay.
yeah,
But
yeah,
and they're also running a business on the side because they understand the potential of having something for for their own instead
yeah.
of just looking for somebody, right?
Yeah,
So yeah,
like 2 years,
definitely.
2 years ago, I quit. I just took up nursing and I moved down to Puerto Vallarta and worked down here for about 5 months. And even before that, I worked casual as a nurse, and I was happier going into work because I was out.
Yeah,
I wasn't like I didn't have all this workload put on me, and so that's what with me. Like I still want to do my nursing, but use in different sort of where I just pick and choose where I want to work or when I want to work because
yeah, that's
we still need people like us who are proficient in engineering and nursing and still be there as a mentor for the newer nurses or newer engineers that are there. So
yeah, yeah, it is, and it's great that that yourself and we came across this opportunity. And
yeah,
did you, like, were you running your business that being a nurse? I don't know, I know in my case I didn't have any, but did you have any experience on the digital marketing part, like, I don't know, the business side of things? How did you cope with
yeah.
that?
Yeah, so the only experience I had from the digital part was just doing personal things on social media. That's all I had experience. I never had a business concept of using social media as a platform. And
Yeah,
so it was a big learning curve for me. but our training was very step by step. I mean, I joined 5 years ago. Our training was not as extensive back then, but now, I mean, I think there's 30 plus tabs on our training site of all the different information on how to create ads, how to create posts on all the major social media platforms. I mean, that information, that knowledge is gold, because I have been able to help other business owners, other friends who have businesses outside of our business community, and give them tips on how to use social media marketing to help boost their
Yeah.
business. So it's invaluable information that I've been able to gain and absorb. And so yeah, 5 years now, I'm still. I mean, last year I started doing YouTube ads, and that was a big leap for me because it was daunting just to go over the training. But once you get over the training, like with any other training, like I'm sure in engineering or nursing, like there's always a new procedure, a new skill, or something that you have to undergo. And so it's been like, yeah, of course, the first few months can be challenging, but once you get over that, it's like second nature, and you're able to do all that extra work, and it doesn't feel like it's straining or it's too much. It's just the ability to keep your mind open and being flexible with learning.
Yes, exactly. Well,
Yeah,
definitely when you're running, when you have a profession, you always have to stay on top of your game, right? Whether it's with
yeah,
new technology development or whatever, new techniques for you
yeah,
nurses. I guess I know nothing about nursing, but I know what's going on a bit in the construction industry. So we do a continuing education.
yeah,
We're obligated to every 2 years we have to present a certain amount of hours to our professional
yeah,
organization, and you're still learning. It's a continuous process, until you retire, I guess. And
yeah,
having learned, I mean, and it's nothing compared. I mean, in this business, the training that we offer to our business partners or that we share as well, it's first of all, I found amazing the fact that it's video based, and
yeah,
I'm a visual learner, so seeing everything on video and pictures or presentations, it's a lot more um, satisfying than just reading textbooks like for hours and hours. And
yeah,
plus the fact and the flexibility of doing it on your own pace, that really
yeah,
has for me it was really a must, because I didn't have the physical time during my day to
yeah,
spend I don't know 4 hours straight trying to learn this business. So it was a bit at a time, and
yeah.
yeah, that's how I got through it as well. And Paulo, in your case, you travel a lot, you're still working. How much time do you dedicate to your business?
So even like before I'm traveling, which I dedicate, that took some time to actually get sort of the scheduling down. But I use my phone a lot with scheduling. I use a calendar a lot, so I would schedule at least 30 minutes to an hour in the morning. So I actually would get up a lot earlier than normal before I start my day job, and then I would my breaks at lunch. I'd be working on my business, and then even after work, I'd be working on my business. So on a given day, I can work between an hour to 2 to 3 hours in a day. On the
Yeah.
weekends, if I have more time, like I would dedicate a bit more time, but it's very flexible. But when you just hear that information, so I said about 1 to 3 hours a day, and then sometimes on the weekends it can be that amount of time. But when you take out the day job part of it, and you only look at the hours that you work on the business, that's not much out of the
No, it
day.
is.
And then
Yeah.
yeah, and all the other times that you have, you're flexible to, like, if you have kids, look after your kids. If you want to exercise more, you can hit the gym a lot more. If you want to travel, you can travel more as well, because the time is so full, and because our system, a lot of it is automated and a lot of the back end part is taken care of. It just allows us to only have to focus on the marketing, which, I mean, it is extensive, but it's not much when you compare it to all the back end stuff that's happening.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. And we have a really amazing back system that does so much for us that we
Yeah,
just concentrate and focus on our businesses, showing up for our businesses,
yeah,
helping our partners, because that's what we
yeah,
love to do also, help people set up. And I
Yeah.
just want to acknowledge we have Luvale watching from Kenya. Thank you so much for watching. Susie, she's watching from the Netherlands. She's in our Spanish community. If you must
Oh,
remember her from our Spanish group. She's from the
yeah.
Netherlands. She's Colombian, but she's living in Netherlands.
Okay.
Angie, she says, "Hi, Julia and Paulo. I don't know where she's watching from, so if you can let us know, that'd be nice, so we can say hi." And Paulo, today's Thursday, so what should people do if they want to know more about what you're doing, what I'm doing? What would your advice be
Yeah.
for people who are looking for what we have found?
Yeah. I mean, if you resonate with anything that I've experienced, that I've mentioned, with like you're overworked, you feel like you're underpaid, you're not feeling valued in your job, or you sit there and you think, how's my how's my life going to be in the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? If it's all going to be the same in those matter of like 1 to 5 years, then you really have to ask yourself, is like I need to make a change, because if you don't make a change right now, you're always going to end up in the same situation. So if you're feeling that way and you want to learn other ways to earn supplemental income, even while you're still working your day job, because this is manageable. People who are working full time or working multiple part time jobs can do this because our training is online, accessible 24/7. So if you just feel like gut instinct that this is something that you want to learn, watch an free information webinar. It doesn't cost you anything other than your time, 90 minutes. But 90 minutes, people spend it on like scrolling through social media platforms, going through TikTok, Instagram, like, or playing games, or watching like binge watching shows or movies on Netflix. You've got 90 days that could potentially change the course of your life. And this is our way of you being able to do your due diligence and knowing how the system works, what kind of business model that we've been able to create. And that's the first step to take. So if you want to get a link, then go to your leader, which is it's ljubich marketing.com. Or you can go to my link at juanpaulo.com, and it's 5 p.m. It starts at 5 p.m. Pacific time, so 8 p.m. Eastern time. And you can't watch the live information webinar. We do offer replays, so you can watch it anytime. And my suggestion is, don't wait. Start now. I find the longer you wait, the more you procrastinate, and the more that you keep complaining things in your life aren't changing. And so do it now. Take that first step and watch it and see if this is a fit for you. If this something is interesting, like if you feel like this is something that you could work with or you can move forward with. And if you have any questions afterwards, reach out to any of us, because we're not here to force people to do this. We're here to show people that there is a way out of of a way out, so that you can create time and financial freedom. So that's what we're here to do, to show people that there's an opportunity out there.
Yes, thank you
So,
so much, Paulo.
yeah,
Oh, she's watching from Edmonton.
yeah,
Thank you, Angie. She answered a question. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Paulo. You've been so helpful. This interview has been lovely. You gave so many reasons for anybody who can relate with you. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people going through hard times at work, or even maybe looking for a work or looking for a job or something. Well, you never know what life can bring you. So if you're looking for something, and like Paulo said, relate to his story, reach out to us. We can at least give you the link, to watch, and then you'll see from there. And definitely, like
yeah,
he mentioned, due diligence are mandatory for you to do. So
yeah,
you can really experience how you feel about what we're offering, and you'll see from there if you want to take next steps or further steps, and we'll be happy
yeah,
to have you in our community.
yeah.
So Paulo, thank you so much. Enjoy your
You're
vacation over
welcome.
there. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you everybody for watching, and
Yeah,
I'll
my
see
pleasure.
you probably later this afternoon on my next interview. But it's gonna be switched because I'm being interviewed, so I'm gonna post it later on. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.